Hi guys, so my name's Chris and I teach yoga at Abbey Yoga. Just to recap, if you haven't seen the other videos, I recently had elective surgery on my wrist. So two of the bones in my wrist had started to separate because of a 100% tear between them. The two bones were called the scaphoid bone and the lunate bone, and together they're known as the Scapholunate ligament, which joins them and gives you this wonderful mobility in your wrist. 21 days ago I had surgery to rebuild the missing ligament between those two bones in my wrist here, and what they do is they harvest a little bit of tendon from the other part of my hand and they wrap that around a tiny little piece of Kevlar, thin tiny strand of the strongest synthetic material, the same stuff they use in bulletproof vests, and they make this new sort of fibre, which is, you know, this strong Kevlar wrapped in my own tendon. And they drill a hole in one bone and drill a hole in the second bone and anchor them, and then drill a hole in the first bone again and wrap it around and draw the two together using this piece of material that they made. And then they set it and then they close it. And the idea is that that new material then creates a bond between those two bones, holding it the same way as the ligament should do, the original ligament that's missing from my body from injury, probably from karate when I was younger. And as that heals, then hopefully I get back the stabilization through the wrist that I was beginning to lose. So that happened 21 days ago, and they put me straight into this, I think it's called a soft cast. It's got a piece of plastic here and lots of bandaging around it, and I have to say this has been really comfortable. I'd read on YouTube and previous bloggers that the surgery left hands very stiff and very swollen. Well, happy to report, whilst I had the swelling and a little bit of discoloration, I had no stiffness in my hand. Pretty much from day one, I was able to do these tendon gliding exercises, which I use to keep the hand fairly mobile. And the pain level, although to start with I was filled with the anaesthetic obviously and the pain level was 0, I managed it very easily using ibuprofen and paracetamol, and they also prescribed for me cocodamol, which may be drowsy, but using you know, a thinned out version of those three, I was able to keep the pain pretty much down to 0 really. Sometimes in the night when I've been sleeping for a while and they're all wearing off, I get dull pains, and more recently I'm getting stinging pains. But the reason that I did the video today is because at day 21 I'm going back to see my surgeon Arvind Mohan at BMI Shirley Oaks Hospital, and he's going to assess this, and I think he'll take this off and he'll probably check the stitches, not something I want to see myself. Maybe do an x-ray, I don't know, and I'm assuming he'll put it back in a cast. So later on today I'll have an update from this, which is as it's looked for the past 21 days, to whatever he assesses it will go to next, and I'll do another little video before I go to sleep, and you'll see all of that in one video. And this video I'll cut it together and you'll see progress from, you know, day 0 to day 21. It looks like this. The swelling has gone down, and I think that's then time to get the cast on. And I'll let you know how it feels going into that and how it feels going into the night to the 21st and whatever he tells me. And I'm hoping pretty soon I'll be able to start going back to a little bit more hand therapy. I'm also seeing a physiotherapist today as well. Hand therapy to build strength back up into the wrist. That'll be the hard work, the rehab, I'm guessing. And I'll let you know how it goes. So Scapholunate ligament reconstructive surgery is what happened 21 days ago, and today I'm hoping they'll take this off and put whatever they're going to put on next and explain that to me. Other vloggers and YouTubers have talked about having pins inserted. The way they did mine appears to have been without pins. I asked on the day, are there any pins, and they said there's no pins in you. So, you know, that might be true. It is remarkably sensitive around here, so I don't really know until they get this off, but I'll let you know. I'll see you again in about no seconds at all, your time, but for me, maybe 5 hours will have passed. See you in a bit. And here we are, probably about 5 hours later, and I've been back to the hospital, and I saw the surgeon. He was really brilliant, such a gentleman. and he seemed really happy with the whole what's going on. So he cut that soft cast off, a pair of scissors, and trimmed the stitches. Told me that all the stitches were self-dissolving, so I wouldn't have to come back to have the stitches out. There were no pins in there at all. It was all really clean. He showed me x-rays of the actual operation. I could see all the pins he'd put in to position it so he could do the work, but then he removed all the pins before he closed it up, so it was pinless, which is really, really cool, I think. And he seemed really happy with everything, and he started sort of moving my hand around and stuff, and I got to see the whole scar and everything. And then he sent me to physiotherapy, and I met Dawn, the physiotherapist. She's a hand physiotherapist, and she meticulously created this, I think they call it a thermocast splint, and it's an alternative to the big plaster Paris things, you know, the ones I used to write on in school. Never had one myself. It's much thinner. It secures with these Velcro straps, and you can actually take it off. And she made it really quite clear to me that, you know, I don't take it off even when I'm sleeping, other than to do the very first physiotherapy rehab exercise I need to do, which is like a dart throwing action, which research shows is the best way to start healing up after Scapholunate ligament reconstruction surgery. So I have this rather cool looking, like thin plastic thing with a little sock on under this little tube grip that will prevent my wrist from moving, and I need to keep that on till week 6 or 8. So it's currently day 21 still, which is 3 weeks obviously. So in another 4 weeks I'll see Dr. Mohan again at 7 weeks, and I guess at that stage he'll decide whether I still have to keep this on every single day. With regard to the actual scar itself, there's a big dressing on it. Apparently that can come off in 2 or 3 days time, and if it's dry it can stay off. If it's not, I've got another dressing I'll put on myself. So other than keeping this on all the time, except for when I do my rehab, which is just 5 or 6 of these, sort of 4 times a day, I'm told. So I'll take that off for that and then put it back on again. Other than keeping this on and keeping this immobile, and also keeping the exercise of my hand going like this, there's not much I can do. They do say that after that 6 to 8 weeks, when the dressing is off and it's dry, I think it's earlier than 6 to 8 weeks, I can start doing the scar tissue massage. I'm fortunate enough that one of my students has just studied scar tissue massage, and she's going to do that for me, which is really cool. And I'll let you know how it goes on. But, you know, that's it. No giant casts, which makes me really happy. And it also means that I can probably get my hand into my coat now, because I've had to go around without my coat on, or most of my jumpers, because they wouldn't fit through with that massive thing on. But hopefully now I can. So look, I'll leave it maybe 2-3 weeks before I do another video, or maybe until I see the surgeon again, and I'll let you know how things are going. But right now, in conclusion, gotta say, whilst I can't really use my hand, really no pain, no serious discomfort. This is a joy by comparison to those big things you can have. And yeah, I'm really hopeful. One small black note, the surgeon said that he noticed that there was early arthritis that had started where the dissociated lunate bone was rubbing against the radius bone, the big bone here, little bone there, big bone there, forgot what they're called. But that, because of the dissociation, because this has moved across, it was pressing, and the cartilage has been worn down, and that started. So he did say, had he been able to do this a year earlier, he could have made a much bigger difference to that. But the analogy that I used with him, and he agreed, it's a bit like driving a car down a road. I'm going in a direction, and the heading isn't great, but having the surgery has slowed the vehicle right down, and hopefully will make it take much longer to get to a place where this is hurting so much that I can't do yoga anymore. So yeah, look, I'm really, really happy. It's good, and I'm not through it yet. I've still got, we'll be the 3rd week now, so apparently 3 months to 5 months before I'm back to full push-up strength, and that'll be the ultimate test. can I do a push-up? If I can get to that stage, I'll certainly put that on video too. So wish me luck.